Welcome to this film about virtual teams and virtual leadership. My name is Dr. Anders D. Olofsson and I work as an associate professor in education. The research group Learning and ICT from the Department of Education, Umeå University, have together with the Center for Leadership conducted a meta-analysis on articles published in scientific peer-reviewed journals in the period of 2005 and 2010. The idea was to recognize what kind of research had been conducted on virtual teams and virtual leadership. In addition, to identify what areas of research is needed. We also aim for producing material that can be used by companies or universities around the globe. In the next few minutes, you will hear research assistant Fanny Pettersson from the Department of Education and co-owner and doctoral candidate Mikael Nygren from the Center for Leadership present some of the most interesting results from the analysis. Please enjoy.
My name is Mikael Nygren and I'm from the Center for Leadership. We're an independent consulting firm located in Sweden. And as we see it, there's a difference between the world of research and the world of work. And it means that it's sometimes for us as consultants difficult to apply scientific knowledge in everyday work. This knowing-doing gap that was first stated by Pfeffer and Sutton a couple of years ago, it's about the fact that it is a difference between what science believes produces success and what it's actually produced and practiced in organizations. Our role at the Center for Leadership is to form a bridge between these two worlds so that you as a business executive, manager or employee may have science you can use. We work with everything from small businesses to large corporations. And the Center for Leadership is therefore an evidence-based knowledge node for organizational development and leadership development. We offer services at strategic levels, operational level and employee level. Our services at the various levels are divided into 3 business units, and the business units are organizational development, research and development, and education.
Virtual team is a distributed group of people who's working together across time and space to achieve a common goal via technology. The technology can offer the group ways to communicate and cooperate, regardless where the group members are located. Important regarding the definition and to be able to understand and use the virtual team effectively, you must take in consideration some factors that may affect the virtual team. Those factors are, for example, the distribution among the team members, leadership, group culture or group process, the communication or, for example, the trust within the group and among the team members. Mentioned factors seems to offer the group opportunities or barriers depending if the virtual team can control them or not. Within the research field we also found a number of components, all of them important for the virtual team and its survival. Important for the users of virtual team is to work on these components to get an effective and good working team. These components are, for example, the use of the technique, the group process within the group, the leadership and its influence on the team members and the team performance. Also, how to build an effective communication among the group and the team leader is important, as well as the learning process and the distribution among the team members. Also, one general component has been identified that's been focusing on, for example, the implementation or collaboration effects among the team. All these components plays an important role for the team function and for prevent problems that can arise by the use of the virtual team. In the construction and reconstruction, the mentioned factors and components have a big impact on the virtual team effects. To not have a functional communication can, for example, lead to mistrust within the group, as well as a strong trust within the group can help the building of the important communication among the team members. Leadership is one component that we'll be looking closer at.
The research conducted was on virtual leadership. It was carried out and In PsycInfo, it was limited to studies published between 2005 and 2010. We also conducted additional searches for the 2 previous 5-year intervals that showed a steady increase in the number of published articles on the subject over the past 15 years. But the field of research could still be considered to be relatively unexplored when searching for the last 5 years generated only 56 hits containing the keyword. Of these 56 hits, only 16 were judged to have a primary research focus on virtual leadership. What we found is that the accepted term for virtual leadership appears to be e-leadership, which in different variations is defined as socially influenced, mediated by advanced information technology in order to bring about changes in attitudes, thinking, behavior, and or performances of individuals or organizations. In cases where direct definition of virtual leadership or e-leadership was not found, the term was mostly focused on virtual team leadership. So the selected articles consisted mainly of quantitative empirical studies. Of these, the primary research focus was to identify the outcomes of existing leadership theories into a virtual context. The results varied between different studies. We found some support for the transformational leadership theory, that it also was applicable in virtual context. So the focus of the research has primarily been to examine leaders' opportunities, difficulties and challenges in an environment where they are not able to have face-to-face interactions with the employees of the team. Only a few studies examined the communication medium impact on leadership, the other way around.
What we've seen through this overview is a couple of aspects that hasn't been studied within the research field. For example, ethics and morals within the virtual team. Even gender is hardly ever studied. For example, how men and women behave within the virtual team, and if there is a difference between men and women's leadership within the group. For example, trust, that seems to have a big impact on the virtual team success, is hardly ever studied. Also, the important component communication need to be deeper researched. The earlier mentioned components around the virtual team has shown to have a big impact on the team success, and there is a need of studies that include all of the components at the same time to see how they influence the virtual team as a whole concept. Overall, there seems to be a lack of theoretical groundwork in all the research on virtual team. Although articles seemingly contain theory, are the primary contents of previous research and not pure theories.
So finally, what we found, the knowledge gap we found in this study was that the context has to a large extent been seen as a dichotomy between face-to-face and virtuality. And our suggestion for future research is that the context should instead be treated as a continuum where the degree of virtuality can be understood and explained.